organised cruelty and cheating on a grand scale.
We're going to go into the dog racing, mate. That's where the money is.
This could be the biggest discovery in recent times of systematic cheating and illegal activities in a sport in Australia.
Absolutely. In simple terms, what is happening is cheating. Putting together animals, gambling and prize purses is a toxic mix that it's capable of turning men into monsters.
Using undercover investigators and piecing together hundreds of hours of surveillance vision captured on secret cameras, we've discovered live baiting rings operating in private across the country, undetected by the industry's state regulators, hidden behind their marketing machines. Their public message? Racing has integrity. Animals are no longer harmed. The sport is now clean.
Sport of greyhound racing has for years been tarnished by allegations of systemic doping and corruption. More than a decade ago, an inquiry in New South Wales exposed rampant drug use, fraudulent testing and bribery. There was supposed to have been a clean-up, but claims of endemic problems have persisted. Now, an investigation by 7:30 into this multi-billion-dollar industry has revealed it's far from clean. Drugs ranging from cocaine to Viagra are used to get a winning edge. One insider tells us that up to 80% of trainers dope their dogs. The relentless quest to produce a winner has also led to massive overbreeding, cruelty to animals, and thousands of dogs killed each year.
My name's Jackie and I volunteer for Greyhound Rescue. I've been doing this for about 2.5 years. I volunteer at the kennels and also do events, and I also look after the foster carers as well.
My name's Margot Undercliffe.
Hi, I'm Eugene and I've been volunteering for Greyhound Rescue for about 6 months now. I'm also living on site to take care of the property and be here in case of an emergency.
My name's Nat. I'm a volunteer with Greyhound Rescue and I have 2 greyhounds myself.
I had never actually met a greyhound before in my life. I just love dogs, and I heard that Greyhound Rescue needed some volunteers to come and help out at the shelter, and I've been here ever since because they're beautiful animals.
I actually went to an event called Orange Blossom Festival and I saw a stall called Greyhound Rescue and there was a dog there, and of course naturally I wanted to give him a cuddle, and then that's how I got to know about this organisation. And then I also want to pursue animal rescue as a career, so this was a great experience for me.
I saw an interview with Peter and Janet, who are the head of Greyhound Rescue, on the TV, and although I knew generally about greyhound racing and the industry, I didn't know a great deal. But after seeing their interview and seeing what the plight was of these dogs, I decided I wanted to get involved and to do some work to help them.
I became a volunteer for Greyhound Rescue after we adopted our first greyhound, Zach, and I sort of would volunteer from time to time and then became increasingly involved, and in the last couple of years I've been pretty heavily involved, mainly doing social media and fundraising and events. Lots of greyhounds are bred every year for the racing industry, and if they're not fast enough, or if they stop winning races, or if they have an injury early in their career that makes them unsuitable for racing, then oftentimes they will not want them anymore, so they end up with rescue organisations or being euthanised.
We get them from various places, from the pounds, and we also have some trainers and owners who get them to us, and one of the local vets also gives us dogs as he comes across them.
Some of the challenges are probably because we fall in love with them. We want them to go to a great family. We want to take them all home with us. Some of the other things will be some of the stories that we hear when they come. We've had some that have been quite scared, some that didn't like men. We've had some that are various states depending on where they've come from. So that can be quite difficult for volunteers to see.
Well, the biggest challenge is seeing a dog come back from a good home. It's always pretty, sad to see a greyhound go home and then come back, and then, they're obviously not that happy about it. So, yeah, we try to give them, lots of love and help them adjust to kennel life again until they find their new home.
The challenges for the greyhounds are basically adopting to being a pet, because they may have been with a trainer and then in kennels, or they may have been some of the puppies and they're just out in a yard, and so they have to adjust to being indoors, having people around them, learning to be a pet, learning to lie on a sofa, learning to go for a walk out in society, because they may never have been amongst traffic and things like that.
I think the benefits are huge. You know, they're so affectionate and they just love to be with you, and with any pet that you adopt, it's a commitment. You're committed to giving them the best life possible, because that's definitely what they deserve. Some of them have been through a lot before they get to a home. So if you're committed to looking after them and committed to giving them a loving, safe home where they can relax and enjoy their retirement, then that's a good thing.
Greyhounds have really thin skin, so if you have a feel of his skin, it's so thin, it's so easy for them to get hurt. So after a race, they used to get really excited and they'd often nip each other. And if one dog gets nipped, then that dog obviously can't race. And so they'd be trying to claim compensation from the other trainer. So then they brought in the law that they must wear muzzles. So they wear muzzles all the time during the races so that kind of injury doesn't happen. And now that obviously people adopt greyhounds, the law still is you need to wear a muzzle in public unless you have the Greyhound certification. Which is just a bunch of temperance tests. But it's not because they're vicious dogs or anything, it just goes back to that law that started in 1910, I think, and I think they will hopefully be overturning that as part of the legislation they're trying to get through. So hopefully, because that's one of the things where people see the muzzle and they just think, oh, what's wrong with that dog, when there's actually nothing wrong with the dog. Some of the dogs, when they arrive, they're fine because this is a kennel location, so they're used to kennels and people coming in and out. We do have had some that have been scared of men particularly. We had a few dogs like that before. So it depends on the personality of the dog and where they've come from, so they can be in all different states when they arrive.
Normally it takes them a little bit of time to adjust here because it's completely new to them, but they get 2 shifts of volunteers each day, so they've got plenty of attention, which is something they may not have had before. And sometimes we put them into foster and other times adopt them out, but there's always people to contact and speak to, because we do have a network of greyhound owners, and there might be groups that walk in different areas where you can meet up and get any assistance that you might need.
Usually they adjust quite quickly. Sometimes you need to teach them about things that they've never come across before. Like stairs or flushing toilets or the TV or the vacuum cleaner. They just have never experienced anything like that before, so they just need to be shown that it's, you know, it's not going to hurt them, and that it's, you know, that you're okay with it, and they get used to it quite quickly. Sometimes they need to get used to being alone, because in their entire lives they've never been by themselves. There's always been other greyhounds and people around, so they tend to do better in pairs. Sometimes it's easier to adopt 2 than it is to adopt 1 because they can keep one another company. But yeah, I mean, most of them will adjust really, really quickly to being in a home, and they just are, you're almost like blown away by, wow, we get, you know, a soft place to sleep and it's nice and warm, and these people want to pay attention to me all the time and get pats and love.
So Greyhound Rescue has all of our greyhounds. We're a no-kill, obviously a no-kill rescue. All of our dogs go into families who fill in an application form and come to our events as well, and have said that they wanted to adopt a greyhound. We also have about 10 foster families at the moment as well, so we're always looking for fosters.
Mostly they're adopted. We do have a foster care program, and we're always keen to get more foster carers, but basically once we rescue them and they spend some time here, we then adopt them to a loving family.
Most of the greyhounds that we rehome go to homes in Sydney, but we also work across the ACT and the Illawarra quite extensively.
Our volunteers have a number of different things they do depending on if they're morning or afternoon shifts. We feed them, obviously, take them out for a run.
We clean the kennels because we always make sure that they've got clean bedding and they've got clean water. I'm also involved in doing house checks because we don't give a dog to somebody as an adoptee unless we've actually checked the house and have a conversation with them.
Socialise them with people, because some of them actually may have not had too much interaction with people previously to coming here. We also take them to the vets if required. A lot of us will go to various events such as the shows and rescue events so we can promote Greyhound Rescue.
I mainly take care of social media and fundraising, looking after the Facebook and the Instagram. We have an online shop to raise funds for Greyhound Rescue, so I take care of that as well. And I do things like organise events. If we go to fairs or fates or exhibition days and things like that, I'll organise volunteers to help man the stall and all of that kind of stuff, and just sort of coordinate that kind of thing. And I've just written a picture book about a greyhound who has just been rehomed, and it's to raise money for Greyhound Rescue. So there's a lot of things you can do to help the greyhounds. One of the most important functions that anyone can have with regards to greyhounds is to raise awareness about greyhounds and about some of the issues that they face and the challenges to greyhounds as a breed. Obviously there are lots of options. You can donate to rescue organisations such as Greyhound Rescue. You can foster a dog if you're unable to adopt long term. We have a sponsor program where people can contribute to the maintenance and the welfare of a dog that we have in kennels until we find its forever home. We have lots of other things that you can do. Volunteering at the kennels is a really great one. We're always looking for people that can come and help care for the dogs. We don't get any government funding, so we rely on volunteers and we rely on donations. So every little bit helps. You can see all the ways that you can help on our website and on our Facebook page.
Join our Facebook page and share and like some of our posts. That actually helps a lot.
Currently we're looking for a new property. As you know, there's a lot of rezoning going on in the areas of Sydney, and we need to find a property where we can have a development application that will allow us to have the dogs. So we're very keen if anyone's out there who has a property that might suit us for up to 20 dogs and not have like residential neighbours, so that we can have the kennels for the dogs.
You could donate blankets, gloves, food, any supplies that we as a rescue really need. Obviously, if you're thinking of adopting a dog, there's no better dog than a greyhound. They're low maintenance, they don't shed, they shed very minimally. They don't smell, they don't have a doggy smell. They're really placid, they don't run around a lot, they're really relaxing, they're affectionate. Yeah, I don't have a higher recommendation for a pet than a greyhound.
We say they're like Pringles. Once you pop, you can't stop because they're just so addictive, because they're the most beautiful dogs.
Oh no. He's like, how come no one's patting me? Keep going.